Hi, from the Salmon River today. Decided to give myself a little treat today and come down to the big Mother River here near where I live. And I've been thinking, I love driving and thinking, and my thinking these days is a lot about trust and taking risks and awareness. And I was thinking about a thing that I did when I was young. I told a story yesterday about taking a guy named Bob on a horseback ride through the Idaho wilderness when I was 26. And today I'm thinking about another Bob, interestingly enough, another horse, another Bob in Montana when I was running a little horse riding outfit out of some local hot springs. And there was a guy there named Bob who had had polio 25 years earlier, and he would come up to the hot springs and he would exercise in the hot water because it, took the weight off his legs. And so he was up several times a week, and he would have a drink at the bar after. And so, I was there doing the horseback riding, and I knew Bob really well. And so Bob was probably 65, I'm going to guess. I don't know. Don't really know. At 28, it's hard to tell how old these old people are, like me now. So anyhow, one day I was at the bar with Bob, and we were having a beer, and I said, "Bob, why don't you let me take you for a horseback ride?" And he said, "Yeah, like hell." I said, "No, really." And this idea had just popped in. I had not given it one moment of thought. But as soon as I said it, it was like, "Oh yeah, of course. I've got this great little short horse, stocky, stout, great, dependable horse named Pat." And so all of a sudden it was a done deal in my mind. "Yeah, I'm taking Bob for a horseback ride." And he's like, "You're nuts. You are so nuts. Are you kidding me on a horse? Look at me." I said, No. We can do this. We can do this thing." And so it was amazing. The next, he said, "No, there's just no way." And so it just became a fun thing for me. I'd see Bob and I'd say, "Bob, when are we going for that ride?" And he'd say, yeah, like hell. And then one day he came down to where the corral was in the parking lot outside the hot springs. He came down to the corral and he said, "Well, show me this horse you're so proud of." And so I took him over and introduced him to Pat and said, "Look, here's what we can do. We can just put you on this bench. You hold on to that timber up there, the header for the porch. You'll kind of swing yourself up on Pat. It'll be good. It'll be fine." He says, "Yeah, right." So another week went by, and we'd just tease each other. We'd see each other. We'd tease each other about it. And then finally he came down one day and said, "Let me just see if I can get on this horse of yours." So we pulled Pat over and we got Bob up on the bench, and we made it happen. We got him on the horse, and I walked him around the parking lot, and he was nervous, but he relaxed. And he got off the horse and he looked at me and he said, "You know what? Thursday next week, I'm gonna do this thing. You take me up that creek down there," because the rides I led went up Sleeping Child Creek. So I was young enough and unaware enough of what it's like that I was laughing to myself. Next week, why not today? I did not get what a big deal this was to Bob. I was just, I knew we could do it, and so let's just do it. And I was fine. I didn't make fun of him for that. It's just inside me, I didn't really understand what it was that I was proposing and what it was we were going to do. So anyhow, he came down on that Thursday, and we got him on that horse, and my friend Paula was there, and we had done everything that we could do to make it fine. I just knew it would be fine. I don't know. It's just going to be fine. And so we went down the road and we got on the trail. The trail turns at the road. When you get to the creek, it goes up away from the road. So it's not a place you could ever drive to. And so we went, I don't know, we maybe met a mile and a half up the creek. And he was just so amazed. He loved it. And we went up until he said, "Okay, let's turn around now." And we turned around and went back. And it was just great. It was great. Coming back, we crossed the creek. We even went up a a more difficult trail, took him a new way. And so we got back, and I, got him off the horse, and he thanked me and went on. And for me, it was kind of just another day, I just didn't get it. And about probably a month or two later, I'm not really sure, but I ran into Bob's wife, Marcella, at the grocery store, and she stopped me and she said, "I want to tell you how grateful I am that you took Bob on that ride." And I kind of blew it off, I said, "Oh, yeah, it was fun for me too. It was great. We had a great time." She said, No. Look me in the eyes here. I want you to hear me. Since we came to this valley, he's never been anywhere like that. He's never been anywhere that he couldn't go in a car. And he's always wanted to see that, and he always thought he never would. And you gave him such an incredible gift in so many ways. I just want you to know that. And it was amazing for me, because that time I sort of heard it. And then probably 3 or 4 years later, I ran into Marcella again at the store. I had seen Bob a few times, and I realized that he was going downhill fairly quickly. And then I saw Marcella, and he had actually died. And so we stood there and we talked about that day and that trip and our lives, and that was when I really got it. That it was such a life-changing thing for him. And whether or not I understood what it was, what I was willing to do was show up and do it. So I guess the reason I want to tell you this story is just, if you have an opportunity to show up and make something happen for someone that they don't think they can do themselves, the best thing we can do for each other at the end of the day is help make it safe enough for us to be here alive in the world and take some different chances and try some different things. That's what I really got through this. So thank you for listening.